So, folks, I was on the Line's Transatlantic Call-In show. Yet again, I co-hosted with Alexander, taking calls about trans issues ranging from advice to spicy debate. Check it out.
Marcus, who uses any/all pronouns, calling from Canada, who wants to talk about intersex issues. Marcus, you are live on the line with Luxander and Riverboat Jack. How's it going?
It's going great now. I've been trying to find a time to be able to call in and talk to you, especially Alexander. So, I'm excited.
Nice. Well, lay it out for us. What is your call about today?
I'm trying to understand the difference between being trans and being non-gender because I'm trying to figure that out for myself to a degree. And I kind of just wanted like your thoughts on it and then where you come from, because up until actually like watching your show and especially you, Lux. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you, Jack.
Oh, it's okay.
But especially
Cool.
watching
We've had
you,
them both
Lux,
ways today.
is how I yeah, it's how I sort of started to figure out that I'm not what I guess I was told I was growing up, because I've always felt different and more feminine, but I don't know. That's also why the any and all pronouns, because I'm trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Sure. Was there anything specific that we could dig into? Sorry, I'm kind of half paying attention because I have to produce the next show.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I don't like is non-binary. I don't really know most of the terms. I grew up in Bumblefuck, Alberta, where hillbilly was kind of like the standard. So I don't really know the difference between trans and non-binary really, and I'm trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, generally speaking, not everybody agrees with me on this, but I think that non-binary is under the trans umbrella. Like, so trans in the most broad sense means you have a gender identity that's different to what you were assigned or that is not in alignment with your biological sex. So to my view, anybody who identifies as anything other than cisgender of like what they were assigned, that person is trans. So for me, and like that state of mind is the critical element that makes someone trans. But there's also like lots of non-binary people do physically transition. Like I have physically transitioned. I might continue other forms of physical transition in the future. So yeah, for me, those things are, it's like a square rectangle thing, right? Like not every person who is trans is non-binary, but every non-binary person is trans. And I hedge that a little bit. I want to respect that some non-binary people don't feel quite comfortable accepting that label, which I think is kind of great because it's like yet another way in which we are defying binaries, like the binary of either you're cis or you're trans. Like, guess what? Some non-binary people are like, I'm not either of those things. Suck it, you know? Yeah, so that's kind of the long and short of it.
Okay, thank you. That actually helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really nervous. I've been watching these kind of shows since I was a kid, so I'm just
Well, you're doing great.
starstruck.
Yeah.
Starstruck.
It's all good. I think looking at the intersection with intersex is very interesting as well, because I think for so many intersex people, especially if you've known, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but like you grow up usually being told you're one of the two things. And so, if you were to identify differently, like there are people who are intersex and are trans, right? Like if they were socialized as a boy, they were raised to be a boy, then they have feelings of like, oh, actually, I identify as a woman, and that may or may not be related to the fact that they have an intersex condition, physically speaking. But yeah, there's a really interesting question about like, an intersex person's gender identity, whether it is in line with their gender. Like, is an intersex person only considered cis if they identify as non-binary? Like, because non-binary identity is in line with like their sort of, if you want to say non-binary physical characteristics. I really just lean on that as being like a matter of self-determination. So, of course, from my angle, I think I have a difference of sex development. I haven't been diagnosed, but I think I do. So it's like, to me, I'm wondering, like, do trans people qualify as a type of intersex because our brain is part of our sex development? So if we could have a clear difference of our idea of what our body should look like in our brain, why isn't that considered a type of difference of sex development? So I tend to come at it from like the other angle, and I try to be as respectful about that as possible, because I know that the experience of being surgically altered as a child, or having parents or doctors hide that information from you, and you find out when you realize you're infertile or something. Like, I try to be pretty respectful about it, but I think that there is a lot of interesting overlap in the conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I had a genetics test done for health reasons a few years back, and that's how I found out I was intersex. So that was fun. Also, growing up with breasts as a very like masculine presenting man also didn't help. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I bet that's tough.
I always just thought I was fat, and it turns out I am fat, but I also have titties. So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is it is interesting when like something, because like I had a lot of baggage around how my body presented growing up, and what I thought my body needed to be in order to align with like the gender I was assigned. And like I found it to be an incredibly freeing experience to be able to realize like, oh, I'm not in that box that I was kind of confined to. And in fact, I can be I can be non-binary, I could be agender, I could be like so many different things. And it was a very positive experience for me to be able to figure out what exactly I wanted to be rather than what box society wanted me in. And I hope you're feeling some of that freedom on your journey of self-discovery too.
I really am. I really am. I got married 2 years ago to the love of my life, and she's been helping me a lot, because I grew up in a very conservative on one side, Mormon on the other family. So there was a lot of rediscovering who I am, and some of it's been painful, some of it hasn't.
Yeah.
So
it really helps to have a supportive partner. And
Big time.
congratulations on your marriage. And also similarly, I grew up in a very kind of fundamentalist Christianity household, and like grew up knowing none of the terms and asked a lot of the same questions that you're asking now. And it's just know that like when you do figure out like what your identity kind of jives with, like it feels like coming home. It's really, really nice. And I think you're gonna get there.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for talking to me, both of you. And yeah, as I said, Jack, I've only recently seen you on here, but you've been great from everything I've
Thank
seen.
you.
And Lux, I've admired you for a long time, and watching and listening to you is how I started to, ask myself these questions a bit more. So I do really appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure Arden was the screener, and I just want to shout out her as well, because she was awesome and is awesome. So yeah,
we love Arden.
Thank you
She's
very
the
much.
best.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for calling. I'll let you guys go and end the show now. And yeah, I hope you two have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks, Marcus. You too. Good luck out there.
Bye.
That was a call. Remember to like, leave a comment longer than 8 words, really helps with the algorithm, and subscribe. And also check out the live show every Thursday. Links all down below. And let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and